outcomes.
Mike here for Game Everybody. Welcome back to Jerk Squad! Yeah, we're ready for more Jerk Squad. A little bonus series for all of you. This is part one. We're going to be talking about the brand new rule set that I've created for Jerk Squad's, Planet Life's card game called Jerk Squad. And it is called the Hardcore rule set, which you can use when you play the game to set yourself up with a much more strategic and enjoyable experience. Warning! If you do not like your Jerk Squad to be harder than it is, please do not implement these rule changes. They will make your life a living difficulty. So please, don't do it. Don't send me a message that says, I don't like when my game is harder. Well, don't implement these rules. Please, folks, swing by that big fat like button and don't forget to ring the bell if you're visually diverse and go over some of the cards and some of the rules that are going to be part of the hardcore rule set. Because I'm not going to make you guys wait 3 or 4 parts before I get into it. We're just going to go over it real quick. So first of all, primary rule for Jerk Squad Hardcore. Your deck must have 50 cards. There's a reason for this. Number one, speed decks make it so that you can just destroy any boss. Like if I was to run you all one of my 30 or 35 card super speed decks, I could beat any boss, including Jack the Sun, without even using very many legendary cards. Number two, you may only have 3 of almost any card. So there are some other rules, but just remember rule number 2, you can never have more than 3 of any card. Right, rule number 3 in hardcore mode, jerk. Number 3, you may only have 1 of any legendary card in your deck. I'm going to be introducing you to Supreme Hardcore Mode. Not in this episode, part 2. We're going to talk about Supreme Hardcore. Rule number 4. This is very, very important. You may only have 1 hit point or core point in your planet's core. Now, you're going to say, how do I do that? Well, it's easy. Just let a very weak enemy like a Derek hit your character and drop your hit points down to as low as you can. Now, alternatively, when you lose, go ahead and only throw 1 tiny bean from Beanie's kind of shop into your core. So number 5, you may only have a maximum of, wait for it, 5 cheaters. That's legendary, that's cheaters, which are like rares, and tiny cheaters. You may only have 5. So if I were you, I'd get a legendary, I'd get 4, I'd get 3, get the 3 rule, get 3 of the cheaters, and I get 1 of the little tiny cheaters. You may only have 5 cheaters in your deck. Also in rule number 5, there is a limit on the total number of Jerker monsters. Again, it's the same rule. You may only have 5 total Jerker monsters. That means you may only have either 1 legendary Jerker monster, 3 of the Jerker monsters, and 1 of the tiny Jerker monsters if you want to make the most optimal build. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, my math is good. Now we get to the other shuffling card. This is all rule 5. You may only have a total of 5 jugglers in your deck. So actually, the juggler's situation is different because there's no intermediate juggler. So you may only have 4 jugglers total in your deck. 1 legendary and 3 regular jugglers. So that's really not much difference. That's not a big deal because you could only have 3 jugglers in your deck anyway. And then you have 1 legendary. So we'll talk about the Supreme Hardcore set, which will make that number drop down to a ludicrous number. A little hint, every card is unique. Oh, yes. Yes, yes. We're going to be talking about that. Oh, man. Yes, yes. Let there be achievements, brothers and sisters. Let us worship the achievements part. And that is it, folks. Thank you very much for coming in for part 1. Stay for part 2 next week on Thursday. We're going to talk about Supreme rules. And I'm also going to line up a little bit more about the first 5 rules of hardcore mode. And for now, folks, thank you for coming to Jerk Squad Hardcore. And we'll come back again for part 2. Bye. And thank you very much to My Noise BBA. Pick them up today and pick up Jerk Squad and subscribe and jerk and jerk.